I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
Much, much, much later.
Better thank a union member for the 5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
So Kamala Harris recently spoke in front of a teachers union in Detroit. And in that speech, she said, we just got to get through the next 64 days. And everyone is saying that she took on the accent of a Southern black woman, which we know she's not a Southern black woman. She is from California. And I'm going to post the video here. But what that's called is code switching. Obama did it too. And they actually teach about it in human resources classes when they give classes for employees. What it is you tend to switch your personality based on the environment you're in, whether it's professional or you're around athletes. You'll change your tone of voice as well as your personality to try to fit in. It's interesting. You can look it up. It's called code switching, and that's exactly what she does. She's a chameleon, and she blends in with whatever environment she's in. It's pretty typical with some politicians.
Let's just get through the next 64 days.
Yes, I didn't know. At this time, I'll be putting out videos talking about Kamala Harris' accent. A lot of people are roasting her on social media, partaking to it, and it has reached a certain level. People can no longer take it again. We have seen that about 4 times. And when it happened the first time, I didn't pay attention. The second time, I was still not there. The third time, I can't resist than just to react and show you what exactly is going on. Recently, a question surfaced to the White House press secretary.
Watch. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
It's like a Southern accent, it sounds like, Congressman.
She must have got the blueprint from Hillary Clinton. I don't know what's up with that accent. But, wow. I mean, even the union workers are united with us where they do not want this price fixing. The price fixing will never work. Nixon tried it for a second. He realized it didn't work. It is Venezuela, Cuba, all rolled into one. She really needs to realign her thought process as far as business goes. The free market will always fix everything. And if she's watching, which I hope she is, just drill, baby, drill. If you bring back the energy sector, this problem goes away.
Well, look,
basically, Ari Hoffman's back with us to talk more about these accents. Ari, my personal favorite is the French accent that she debuted in France. And then she had to throw in that capital T, capital P, because you know she was thinking of les plans, like L-E plan, as they would say in France. But she tried to clean up her mess a little bit there anyway.
Look, I failed French for 3 years in high school. I don't pretend to speak it. I know better than that. What Kamala Harris reminds me of is she reminds me of that old lady in Airplane. Oh, stewardess, I speak jive, right? That's Kamala Harris.
Oh, yes.
Or maybe it's Robert Downey Jr.'s character in Tropic Thunder, you know, who's pretending to be black. That seems to be her mantra. She thinks that this is going to earn her points. Maybe she should ask Hillary Clinton how that worked out for her. Voters like authenticity. They don't like cringe-worthy moments, and they don't like being spoken down to. Like that moment when she spoke to a bunch of high school kids like they were in kindergarten. It just shows she doesn't know how to talk to kids, which may explain why her stepdaughter is the way she is, you know, a Hamas supporter. But at the end of the day, this authenticity is not this non-authentic nature of hers is not going to win over voters. In fact, what it's going to do is alienate more people, because the more people hear her trying to be like that, hear her putting on these fake accents, the more they see through her on every single policy plan and everything else that she does.
Using these during only very specific scenarios, using these Southern accents, these very very foghorn leghorn accents, right? Like put upon accents that are totally unnatural and is not the way that she speaks at like a NATO summit, right? With Jan Stoltenberg.
Right.
What does this say to you?
Well, it's actually kind of racist if you think about it. I mean, like, that's the thing. I think the biggest racism, the biggest sexism is actually with the radical left. And it's dangerous because it's so subcutaneous. It's so under the surface, right? And it's an act. She's from California. Like, she grew up in Canada. She's from California. They don't talk like that. You know, in my district, there are people that have lots of different accents, Southern included, depending on what town you're from. That's all perfectly normal, but not in her line of work, not in her job, not where she grew up. I mean, I say y'all, that's about as Southern as I get. I've lived all over the country. And there's no, it's just bizarre. And I think it's racist. Honestly, it's just the strangest thing.
Why can't this woman be authentic, like be herself? Must you do this? When people realize that you are faking a lot of these things, they change their minds. I don't know if she's not having someone that can advise her when this is concerned, or what exactly. I don't get it. It is extremely concerning at this level. If this was the first time, we would just ignore. But from the way people are reacting on social media, it is to clearly tells you they are tired, they are fed up with this fakeness. Even the White House is unable to defend this. They prefer to even stay silent at a certain point. When you take a look at this tweet, Karine loses her mind when Fox News Peter asks an absolutely legendary questions on why Kamala seems to develop a southern accent when speaking to certain crowd, otherwise known as code switching or shameless pandering. Okay, this is something I saw with Barack Obama. The same strategy when he is here, he changing the tone, and now she is doing something similar to this.
Different topic. Since when does the Vice President have what sounds like a Southern accent?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
I mean, this is...
She was talking about unions in Detroit using one tone of voice.
Is this something that
same
you think...
line.
Okay, Peter.
That she used the same line in Pittsburgh, and it sounded like she at least had some kind of a Southern drawl.
I mean, do you hear the question that you're... I mean, do you think Americans seriously think that this is an important question? They care... You know what they care about? They care about the economy. They care about lowering costs. They care about health care. That's what Americans care about.
So
that's what they want to hear.
This is something...
They care about, your colleague just asked me about, what basically we talked about, went back and forth about democracy and freedom. That's what they care about. I'm not even going to entertain some question about the president. It's just, hearing it sounds so ridiculous.
Well, but hearing it is...
The question, I'm talking about the questions is just insane.
Is that how she talks in meetings here?
I'm just, Peter, we're moving on. We're still moving around. Go ahead, Anita.
Thanks. Starting with you.
I said it on one of my videos. When you pinpoint something about Kamala, immediately they start calling your name. Oh, you are racist, you are this, you are that. This is something that a lot of people have noticed. Peter has a right to ask. I don't get the point why Democrats want to dictate what we should talk about or we should criticize Kamala on. Don't tell me that. Oh, we should talk about economy, we should talk about... People are concerned with this. It's a problem. So try to dictate what he should ask. It's insane.
You know who has been facing backlash?
He said, what's in it for them? What was in it?
Are so extraordinary, which is something that should have never been allowed to happen.
When Joe stepped down, did you want it to be an open convention as opposed to going right to Kamala?
Well, here's the plan. Kamala, it was open. Anybody could have gotten in. She wrapped it up. You have to give her credit for that.
I do, totally. And the Democratic Party, you know what? That's the smartest thing they did. Because they just had a big internal fight. They couldn't afford another one. They would have looked like we always think, oh, they're disorganized, and they just got their you-know-what together.
And the hatred they have toward him is as a result of this.
It does not need to be like this. This is silly.
About Barack Obama when it comes to...
theme here at the DNC is that they're going to go after corporate gouging.
What's your favorite policy of Kamala's?
Her being president.
And if the pace plays,
leaving. A speech from Michelle Obama that I have to say is one of the best
gun-toting.
We were talking.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump. Damn Kamala.
Kamala Harris is in office right now and has not tried to do anything about the border, has not tried to not tax people on tips.
For some people, it's already started.
But when you disrespect Kamala Harris,
They say the economy's great. Just look at the jobs numbers.